Hi and welcome to Tabletop Gaming. My name is Charlie and today we are taking a look at a bit of a murky category, you might argue, of the WEUROS. WEUROS? The War-Euros. Now, they have been combined into one singular name to create a category, but ultimately they are war-themed Eurogames. That means you get that sort of tight mechanical feel of a Eurogame with the sort of direct conflict and strategy of a war game. And to be honest, work quite nicely if you're not wanting to play a full war game, play a WEUROgame. In at number 1 is Rurik, Dawn of Kiev. Now, this takes us back to the 10th century in a perfect entry for the War-Euros style game, because the main mechanic of it is area control, and it is ultimately sort of like one step behind the war game. So you have your miniatures, you have your really tricky decisions that you're going to have to make, the strategy that you're going to have to form to get there, all packed into this one game. You're going to be bidding for actions, gaining victory points, and taking care of those miniatures too. Plus, the hero powers give a little bit of asymmetry without overwhelming the game too, so it keeps things fresh. In at number 2 is Polis. This is a game that makes you think a little bit more about what you're doing, because how can you send an army out to fight if you haven't got the food to feed them? It's sort of empire management where you're going to expand your sphere of influence. You can go to war, but is it always going to be the best decision for you? Number 3 is A Few Acres of Snow by Martin Wallace. This is a card game. In at number 3 is A Few Acres of Snow. This is a Martin Wallace game, and it is a deck building and area control game set in North America in the time where we're having a battle between the French and the British. Players will take an asymmetric approach to pushing each other aside of what is now the Canadian border, and this game adds sort of a warlike brutality to the sieges that you're going to be playing. Number 4 is Europe Divided, which is sort of a more modern take on the genre. Sure, it's the standard political, tug of war between NATO and Europe and Russia, but it comes with all sorts of things that happened within sort of the standard lifetime of the players, so you might actually recognise and remember things that happened within it. It is deeply asymmetrical and your conflict is within your area control. There's a muddy political backdrop to it, so it's one of those where you're wondering, is there a good guy anyway? Number 5 is The King is Dead, 2nd edition. This is more area control in a really fast wargaming environment. You'll be playing cards, and when you both choose to pass, conflict breaks out. Whilst it's not all bloody battlefields, it is a careful and political dance between what you're trying to do and how you're trying to keep them back and trying not to destabilise things too much that it being ahead actually means you're behind. There's a lot to think about in this game and a really fun one to play too. Number 6 is Dominant Species. So we're more in maybe the Eurogame than the war game, but this time the war breaks out because of the creatures. Move your birds, amphibians, reptiles, mammals, all the way into the perfect position to attack. You'll have to build up the way that those species survive and evolve as part of the game, and ultimately just try and destroy your enemies with them. Number 7 is Inners. This is a Celtic themed game of dominance and politics. A simple system of exploring the land and sending people out onto those, where spreading into 6 land tiles will make you the king. Thing is though, the world expands as you explore it, so conflict can kick off at any time. It's been described as a deliciously social kind of kingmaking. At number 8 is Tigris and Euphrates. This is of course a classic, and one that many people have on their shelves. Players are forced to fight a war on all fronts, as is the lowest score that you're looking for in this instance. You'll place your tiles to certain spaces, but if there are 2 players in the same space, a fight will break out. Compare the strength of your leaders and what's hidden behind your board in order to find out who wins the conflict. Hopefully staying on the board and hopefully gaining enough points to make the whole thing worth it. At number 9 is Shogun. This gives you your taste of feudal war in Japan. It's a mix of action programming and secret ordering. All players take the same actions at the same time, but what happens depends on the provinces that they have. And the fact that you might not be in control of the province later makes it for tricky strategizing. There is a little bit of randomness in it, and it's been described as brutal and jolly. And finally at number 10 is Cyclades, because of course bribing the gods should be on the top of any list when you're looking for war. It's all about taking control of the islands and then claiming the main city. Just get 2 and you'll win. Easy, right? Well, you'll need to bid for the gods' favour to do things like recruiting troops, spy boats, and all the other things that you're going to need to go to war. It's got beautiful miniatures and a crunchy heart, making it feel super epic. Plus, there is a Titans expansion. Thank you so much for watching. Please do pop in the comments any ones that you would add to the list. What do you like to play? Do you like the ones on here? How do you feel about those? But also, check us out. So this came from a list written by Christopher John Eggett in one of the recent magazines. I will put the link in the description, but you can head to tabletopgaming.co.uk for not just the magazine, but also features, reviews, and news as well on our site. Plus, want more from us? You need to subscribe. Hit like too, because that's just for me. Thanks, guys. And ultimately, thank you so much for watching. I hope you join us for more, and have a great day.